As the only expert in the world capable of rescue dives below 3,000 feet, I received a once-in-a-lifetime salvage contract worth tens of millions of dollars. I had dived in those same waters over a decade ago. My son's research submersible had been damaged on the ocean floor. After his oxygen ran out, he suffocated in the dark. The grief nearly destroyed me. My husband, Griffin Latimer, held me through it, staying by my side through countless miserable nights. I found out later that he had personally redirected the only rescue vessel capable of reaching the depths our son was at to save his childhood friend's daughter. That girl had merely choked on a mouthful of water in the shallows. I divorced Griffin and threw myself into deep-sea salvage like a woman possessed, diving over and over until I knew the undercurrents of those waters better than I knew my own home. I never wanted another child to die the way mine did. Today brought the same stretch of ocean, the same crushed hull, the same depleted oxygen, and the same impossible odds. When I opened the client's file, I went completely still. I recognized the name and face inside instantly. I would never forget either of them for as long as I lived. I smiled and slid the folder back across the table to my partner. I can't take this one. Marin, are you out of your mind? My partner, Brody Gentry, snatched the folder back and spread it open in front of me again. $10 million. Do you have any idea how many jobs we'd have to risk our necks for to earn that kind of money? If you're turning this down, you've got to at least give us a reason. I pulled my gloves back on and went back to running the daily equipment checks. I said no. Look at this. Brody flipped to the back of the file. The hull deformation on that submersible is severe. She's got less than 24 hours of oxygen left. A 23-year-old girl is trapped inside there. My fingers stopped on the dial. My son, Rob Latimer, had also been 23 the year he died. Marin, you're the only person in this entire region who can pull off a docking rescue at that depth. Brody leaned in and lowered his voice. If you don't go, she's dead. I tightened the valve and turned to face him. Brody, you've been with me for 7 years. When have I ever turned down a job? He went still. So why now? I did not answer. It shouldn't matter whether you know them or not. Brody grabbed my arm, growing desperate. Think about the money they're offering. I wouldn't take it for $100 million. I moved his hand off my arm, my voice still calm. Don't ask me why. In 7 years, I can count the jobs I've refused on one hand. Just trust me on this. Brody's face turned a deep red, like he had 1,000 things to say, yet could not get any of them out. Fine. Brody finally closed the folder and slammed it on the table. I trust you. He turned and walked to the door, then stopped. When he spoke again, his voice was low and muffled. But she's a living, breathing person. If you change your mind, we're ready anytime. The door shut behind him. I stood alone in the equipment room, staring at the folder Brody had thrown onto the table. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Brody. The client called. They want to speak directly to the lead technician. Do you want to talk to them? I stared at the message for a long time, then typed a reply and sent it back. I'll talk. Hello, am I speaking with the lead technician for the deep sea rescue? The voice on the other end was steady and arrogant. It had been 10 years, but I still recognized it. That's me. Go ahead. My own voice was nothing like it used to be. A decade of deep sea work, between the breathing equipment and the harsh conditions, had done irreversible damage to it. Good. This is Griffin Latimer, from Latimer Maritime Group. I assume you've already reviewed the situation. He paused briefly. Name your price. I'm not taking the job. The line went quiet for a moment. Then he laughed. I'm sorry. Did I not make myself clear? I said, name your price. Whatever you want. I said no. $50 million. There was not a trace of hesitation in his voice, as though he had just tossed out a number at random. $50 million in cash. You'll get half when you go down, and the other half when you bring her up. This is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. I said nothing. He took my silence for deliberation and raised the stakes. If you'd prefer equity, that works too. 0.5% of Latimer Maritime in your name with annual dividends. Mr. Latimer, I cut him off. When I said no, I was